To all the geeks and nerds, welcome to another episode of Beyond Logic, and this week we are continuing where we left off last time. We are going to be working on our Hill Valley spawn area. So yeah, check this out. This is what we did last time. We built the clock tower with the courtroom, and also the central park here. And yeah, we're going to continue this build this week. We are going to add all of the shops and buildings that surround the square, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to complete this project. I might have bitten off more than I can chew. I've done a bunch of sketching in creative, and there is a lot to do. We have got a lot of buildings to build. All the way from a cinema right at that very end, all the shops along this side. We've got shops along here, diners, we've got a petrol station over there, a gas station. We've got another cinema over there to build, and even more buildings all the way over there. So there is a lot of stuff to do. And I'd also like to add a few more details here and there, which we will get to. Hopefully we'll have time, but we will see. Now, let me show you one more thing. So on stream this week, we did some work on a path between the spawn area and also our starter village. So it starts off here. So we're going to have to do some kind of transition from the road here to this path. So we've added all of this path, and I finished pretty much finished it on stream, but then did a bit more work afterwards. So you can see this path here is a kind of mixture of this cool dirt path blocks. We've got some brown concrete powder, some logs, all kind of mixed up in here. And I've gone around, added these lights all the way along the path, so it's nice and safe. And also I've gone into the woods a little bit and added some more hidden lighting as well. So the wood is not totally spawn proof, of course, but hopefully safe enough for us to walk from one end to the other. So if we follow this path along, we've also added these kind of stairways. We've got stairs and slabs here and there, just so we can walk along this path. And yeah, it's pretty nice to walk through the wood, right? So and if we just go along right to the very end, this comes out. It's quite long actually, but eventually it's going to come out right over here in our starter village. So this is a nice, easy way to get from spawn all the way over to here, where we got our starter house and our little creeper farm. Our creeper farm's down there. Our skull factory's up there. So yeah, some good stuff. So starting to link some things up, which is nice. But yeah, let's get on with the project for today, which is, if I can fly, which is to continue on with the build from last week. So yeah, let me get situated. Let's make a start. And I think the first building we're going to build is maybe, let's go with the one that's right here, which is the Bank of America. I've made a start and I've placed down some blocks. So here we have the outline of the Bank of America building. And this one is pretty big compared to some of the others. But yeah, good to make a start. And this is building number 1 of 20. So we have quite a bit of work to do this week. And you can see I've already had to extend out the road here. So we need to fill this in to make it the same as this. I've added some walkways already in the road, so making a start on that area. But yeah, this is the Bank of America. And yeah, so let's talk about some of these buildings. So we'll talk about each building in turn as we do it, and you can see that this one is just basically a big grey box. Basically, that's this one. Now, what I'm trying to do with this build is I'm not going to go super crazy with the detail. I want to put enough detail in so you can see what it is, and you can kind of you can see this is what it's supposed to be. But I don't want to go so crazy that we spend a whole episode's worth just on one building. So I'm trying to get the balance right on that front. So in terms of that, we're not going to do all of the interiors for the buildings or anything like that. And in fact, I probably won't build the backs at all. We'll build the fascia and also the roof as well, and probably the sides, but just enough so when we're inside the square here, we can look around and just see the buildings and it will look like they're all complete. I think that's probably a good compromise for this episode. And then maybe in a future episode, we'll come back and we can do the interiors of all these buildings and add some more details, that kind of stuff, as like a second pass, if you like. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is when it comes to doing the windows, for example, we're going to obviously put our glass down just like this, using these glass panes. And then around the back, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to block them with some wool, just because they've got a bit of texture to them. So then when we're looking at that from a distance, obviously we're not going to be going right up close to these buildings probably. We're back here looking at the buildings, and you can just see, you won't see through them, you won't see the trees in the sky behind it. It will just look like a building with maybe the curtains drawn or the blinds drawn, that kind of thing. So that's the kind of style we're going to go for. So yeah, just need to fill this in, I guess. So you need to fill in all these holes with glass because they are all of the windows. And then we've got a bit of detailing to add. We're going to have we're going to have like a bench over here with some bushes. Also a couple of little mini trees outside. So I guess let's get going and get this one finished. All right, we are pretty much done. Just need to put down these last couple of banners. And this last one, there it goes. Right, let's have a look. See what this looks like. There we go. Bank of America. Yes. So there we go. Yeah, just got a couple of these little kind of mini trees outside. Some benches over here, a little tree there. But yeah, it looks all right, not too bad. So obviously not much detail. As I said, yeah, we could spend forever doing these things, and I think, yeah, just keep it simple for the time being. I think that's going to be all right. So let me show you around the back. We can see the see the tricks. So yeah, so I'm not going to fill in the sides too much, and yeah, the inside. So we're going to leave it like this for the time being. So when we get the other shops next door, the other buildings next door, if we need to kind of bring this down, we'll do that. And so it'll look all right from when you're inside the square, but when you're sort of outside, it probably won't look too good. But yeah, we can come back and finish that off, get the insides done. That'll be pretty good. All right, so the next building to do is the one next door, which is Mr. Foster's Travel Shop. And with a quick edit, there it is. There is the travel shop all in place. Pretty small, but I think that is looking all right. And I think I'm finding so far that making these banners up is actually taking longer than building the buildings themselves. But yeah, this one's all right. So there we go. There's a shop window and there's a little poster of some place you might want to go. Maybe that looks pretty cool. But yeah, that is the building. Now, let me put something on screen. So this is one of the images that I'm using as inspiration for these builds. So hopefully that's relatively close. So this is actually an artist's impression of this part of the square. And yeah, I've been looking around for all sorts of different images. I've got some screen grabs from the movie itself. I've got different artists' impressions. I've even found a Lego model that's got all of the buildings in as well, to try and get an idea of colours and stuff like that as well. So yeah, got using a whole bunch of resources to try and get these kind of similar to the film. Obviously there's a bit of poetic license required, but yeah, looking all right. So let's get on to the next building. I hear that Hill Valley is a nice place to live, and of course, if you want to live here, you need to buy a house, and for that you need a realty agent. So here it is, Armstrong Realty. Here it is. So nice bay window up there at the top. Again, very simple design. But yeah, the other thing I've been trying to do now is to add a bit of spawn proofing as well. So on the roofs here, you can see I've used the bottom slabs as much as possible, and then added some carpets on all of the solid blocks. Likewise down there on the ledges, because we don't want to be spawning in here and then walking around and then have a skeleton sniper up here take us out. So yeah, trying to make this as safe as possible. But I think you kind of got the idea now. We're kind of just go around here and build a whole bunch of these buildings. So I think yeah, if we want to get this all done in one episode, we need to speed up. We need to get going at 88 miles per hour. And here is the first street of Courthouse Square pretty much done. So let's have a closer look. Oh, this has been a lot of fun, taking quite a lot of work to get this done, but yeah, we are here. So these first three you've already seen, and yes, let's continue. So over here we have Zales. They are a jewelers. So yeah, pretty good. And over here we've got the Hill Valley Stationers. Next to that we've got the Elite Barber. And then over here we've got the Bluebird Motel, looking nice. Pretty like how this one's turned out. Yeah, pretty good. And over here we've got Western Auto Stores, so all of your car parts, I guess. And over here we've got the US Army Recruitment Center in that one right there. Then next to it we've got Ruth's Frock Shop. This is where Lorraine gets her dress in Back to the Future. And then right at the very end we've got, if I can say this right, we've got Studebaker. They are a car maker, and yeah, this is the one that's on the corner right in there. So we've come to the end. So we've got a couple of buildings to put on over here. We've got the cinema, town cinema over here, and next to it we've got the Holt diner that goes next to it. So going to do those two next, but first of all we need to clear a bit more space. I've got to clear out some of this. I'm going to extend this road out here so it matches up with that. And if we take a fly up, let me show you from the top, so you can see that all of these buildings, they all kind of stop in line, just like that, all in a straight line where they stop. So they come back far enough so they look like buildings, but obviously from the back you can see the illusion. But from the front, when you look from here, I think it looks pretty good, especially when you're in the square here. You know, looks all right. I think looks all right. Okay, so let's clear some space. Let's get those two buildings done, and then we can move on to some more. And as we walk along the road that took Marty back to the future when he reaches 88 miles per hour, when he gets to this line, here we have the town cinema and the Holt diner, looking pretty cool. So again, yeah, still in keeping with our kind of simple designs, but hopefully enough detail and enough shape to give you the idea of what we're after. So what I'll do now is, so take a look at this, and what I'll do now is I'll put a picture on screen, which is taken from the set of the movie. So you can hopefully see this is kind of similar to what we've got, but that's what I'm aiming for, that kind of look. So yeah, and then yeah, so just to show you, if I go a bit further on, I've just planted a whole bunch of trees down this side, just so we've got something to fill that space up. So maybe there's like a park or a wood that's kind of next door to the town square. And over here, yeah, just gonna leave that like that for the time being. We're not really going to be using that. This is all kind of decorative, so yeah, it doesn't need to be totally functional as a road. But yeah, pretty good. So I think that does it for this side in terms of buildings. Obviously, we need to do some work on the road still. We need to get rid of all this torch bam, that kind of stuff. And there's some other details I want to add, lampposts and stuff like that. So that's all to come. But I want to focus on the building still. So the next thing to do, I think, is to do this side over here. So starting from this corner over here, this is where we have Lou's Diner. So we're going to start off with this one. Then we're going to go over here. We've got a record store. Then we've got a gas station, and then a bike shop over there. So let's do this whole row next. And then, yeah, then we've only got a few more buildings to go over that side. And here's the site for the new build. I've done a little bit of prep work. I've done some changes to some of the road layout and added a big area here for the forecourt of the gas station. So that's the Texaco station. That's going to go there. But yeah, we're going to start off with this build right here. This is the bike shop, and this is Hal's bike shop. So let me stick a picture on screen of what we're going for. This is a still from the movie. This is when Marty is being chased by Biff and his gang, and he's being pushed along by their car. And you can see in the background the bike shop. And yeah, so there you go. You get an idea of the kind of thing we're going for, and you can see this is right in line with this road. So if we come back here, you can see this road right here. If we follow this road along, you can see the bike shop right there in front of us, and the manure truck that Biff unfortunately crashes into is situated right there on the corner. So this is what we're going to do. So as I build some of this up, I thought I'd give you a quick update on the 1.14 and how things are going for me on that front. So at the moment we're still on 1.13, as I guess most of you know, and we're sticking there for the time being. It looks like we've got pre-release 4 of 1.14.2 has been released. Yeah, we've got a pre-release 4 of that, should I say? And it looks like the full release of 1.14.2 is going to come out next week. Now they've focused on things like world corruption and things that might make your player die in the game on that update. So that's been the focus, which I guess is pretty important. So that's things like the lighting glitch. There's things like the world corruption where you get chunks that reset, that kind of stuff. So that's good. And what I've heard so far, that pre-release is looking pretty good so far, pretty solid. So that is good news. And I think after that, it looks like they're going to be doing some more updates, so some more point releases, and yeah, they're going to be focusing on a few things. So there's going to be some performance increases. I know that's coming, and also there's going to be some gameplay changes. So at the moment, raids and also villagers all have their issues in terms of bugs and also some gameplay things. So those things are going to get addressed as well, is my understanding. So hopefully after at least the 0.2 release, we might upgrade to that. We'll have to wait and see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for some other people to upgrade and see what their experience is like before I take the plunge. And yeah, so we might update to the 0.2 release, we might not, or we might wait for a future one where they fix some of the raids and the villager issues. So the thing is, like, I want to play this game when it's at its best, and I don't want to have a bad experience and you know, potentially lose lose some stuff. And the other thing is, a few people have asked me about various farms and contraptions for 1.14, in particular ones that involve villagers, and I'm super keen to do that stuff, but I don't want to do it too early if they're going to change some of the game mechanics and change how things work. So yeah, I'm going to hold off on that for the time being, but hopefully the game will get to a point where it's suitable and playable with all those things, and then we can make a start on that stuff. So let's come up here and land. Oh, I meant to go up there. But for the future, I'm actually pretty optimistic. I think the 1.14 release hasn't gone according to plan as far as Mojang is concerned, and I think I'm feeling positive because I think they've probably learned some valuable lessons, and I think that this will stand us in good stead for the future. I don't know anything like solid about the next updates, about 1.15, anything like that, but my spider sense is tingling, as they say, and I reckon it's going to be a really good update. I think there's going to be some lessons learnt, and yeah, I'm hopeful that Mojang will really listen to the community and take on board what's kind of happened. And yeah, hopefully this, if we can all stay positive about it, then hopefully next time around things are going to be super good. And there it is, Hal's Bike Shop all done. And yeah, so I kind of got carried away. and kind of built some more buildings. so there's a Texaco garage behind us. We've got some other buildings over there, and yeah, some more over there too. So I was building up all these buildings, and it was taking a long old time. It's now actually the next day, and yeah, I was up till like 2 o'clock in the morning building all these buildings, and I thought I've got so much more I want to do on top of just the buildings. We've got some lighting to do, we've got some details, I've also got some vehicles I want to add, and yeah, if I spent like showing you every single building as I built it, we'd be here for like 3 hours. So yeah, in the interest of getting this video down to a reasonable time, I thought I'd skip and do a big jump cut. So let me show you what I've done, and yeah, let's take a look at these buildings. So yeah, as you've seen, here is the Hal's Bike Shop, and what I've done is next to it, I've just started adding some leaves and some trees to kind of fill in the blank spaces. And next to it, here is the Texaco garage. So yeah, you can see again, there's a bit of a gap between them. I've filled in with some trees and stuff like that. But yeah, we've got this. Here's the Texaco logo on that kind of a little stand there, and here's where obviously the cars can pull up, fill up with gas, and then move on. And then right next to that, we've got the record store. This is Roy's Records. So that, and in fact, this shop, so obviously this is 1955. In the future, when we get to 2015, this turns into the antique store where Marty buys the sports almanac, and he runs around this corner and chucks it in the bin over there. But actually, I've got a few more details to add in here. But yeah, that is the record store, and then next to it here is Lou's Cafe. So again, one of the things I'd like to do is I'd like to do the interior for this one in particular, but we're going to come back to that another time. So that is Lou's Cafe right there, and of course we're back down to the Bank of America. Now we need to do the transition over to our path over there, which we'll do in a bit hopefully. Now this row of buildings you've already seen that go all the way over to there, but we've done some more buildings over this way. So over here we have the bar. So this is Gainer's Hideaway. So that's there. Next to it, we have another cinema. So this is the Essex Cinema right over here. So I'm not totally happy how this has turned out, to be honest with you. So I may well come back to this and give it some love. But looking at the screenshots that I've got from the movie and stuff, it does look like this with all of the archways, with that up there and this bit kind of poking out. But yeah, I may well revisit that because I'm not entirely happy. But anyway, let's move on. We've got the Sherwin-Williams shop as well, which is right there. And then next to it, I've filled all of this in with a whole bunch of trees to kind of fill in that space as well. So that is it in terms of the buildings, but we've got some more details to add. So I've got, first of all, I want to get rid of all of this torch spam. So we'll talk about that in a second. Then we've got to add a whole bunch more of these lampposts like these ones here we've got. So we've got more of those to add, and also some telegraph poles we need to add as well. So I'm going to do that too. And then we've got some vehicles. I've got 4 vehicles I want to add as well. So still got a whole bunch of stuff. So let's do this stuff with the lighting. So what I want to do here is obviously get rid of all of these torches. And yes, our lighting options in this game are not fantastic. So what we could do, I suppose we could add carpets on top of all of this, which I don't really want to do, to be honest. So the next best thing is to basically, in the right pattern, is to dig down here, put a glowstone underneath, and then stick a carpet on top, which, yeah, if we do that in the right pattern, we'll cover it up. So I'll do that. It's not my favorite option because it's going to look it's not going to look so great, but I think it's going to look all right. One thing as well I'm going to do is over here, I'm going to dig down here, for example, and stick a glowstone down here, and I'll probably get rid of that, put one of those there, and then if we put an iron bar on top, this kind of looks like a drain on the side. Again, that can let out light just to kind of minimize how many carpets we use. So yeah, I think that's the next job. Let's do these carpets, get rid of all these torches, and then we can add some more details. This is Hill Valley at night time. Not a mob in sight, hopefully. I'm looking out. I don't think I can see any. But yeah, hopefully I've got all of the all the spaces. So you can see all these carpets we've got down here. We've got these drains here as well. So they're all the way over all these roads. There's no more torches, no more torch spam. What's that? It's a spider. I left a spot. Right, I'm going to have to go in here and check out, make sure. And a zombie over there. Jeez. I thought I got all the places. Okay, so there's still a few places inside here probably, but all out here should be all done. But yeah, I've been adding these lampposts as well, so I've got those all dotted around. And as it's night time, you can see them. You can see them all kind of dotted around all over the place. And also, I've added these telegraph poles. So there's one over there, and then there's some more dotted around right over there. And this guy's going to give you problems. Oh, don't pause. Oh, where's my sword? Here it is. Take that. Get out of here. And now that it's daytime, we're going to play a little game called Guess the Vehicle. So I've got 4 vehicles I want to build, and this is the first one. So what do you think this one might be? So this is probably an easy one to start with. But yeah, this one is kind of disgusting, kind of smelly. And yeah, inside, we're going to use some of this stuff. Here is the finished truck, and I'm sure you've guessed it. I'm sure you've guessed it. Maybe a better view would be from behind. Oh man, look at this. Yes, this is the manure truck. I hate manure. So we've got the brown concrete powder with some poop. Oh jeez, I hate manure. I love that bit. So yeah, so Biff's car comes along here and obviously crashes into the manure truck. This is the D Jones manure hauling. There it is. There it is. Oh yes, brilliant. All right, so that is vehicle number 1. Now on to vehicle number 2. There's our manure truck, and yeah, it's just around the corner. But now we're working on the second vehicle, which is this one right here. Now this one is for a guy who has Progress as his middle name, I believe. But yeah, what do you reckon this one could be? So I'm going to just do a little bit of this, and I'm going to put one more thing down before I let you try and guess. So it's not French, but what do you reckon? Vehicle number 2 is complete, and as you can see from the number plate, the license plate, vote 1. This is something to do with elections. Now, if you guessed that this is the vehicle for Goldie Wilson, then I'm afraid you are wrong. Because don't forget, this is 1955, and Goldie Wilson works in the cafe. He is not the mayor yet. The mayor in 1955 is, of course, Red Thomas. So, if you guessed Red Thomas, well done, congratulations, you got yourself a point. And if you guessed Goldie Wilson, I'm sorry, but you got it wrong. Over the way there is the manure truck, and over this side, in front of the record store, is the election truck. But yeah, we're building the next one over here in front of the barbershop, and this one has got a bit of a meaty grill on the front, and on the top, got a kind of a meaty kind of bonnet as well with these things. So yeah, what do you think this one is? I don't think I'd want to mess with this vehicle. Here is the finished vehicle, and this is a Ford Super Deluxe convertible. And yeah, you probably guessed it, but yeah, this is Biff's car. Got that menacing grille on the front and the bonnet as well. So yeah, Biff's car looking nice and clean and pristine. So this is probably before he crashed into the manure truck. So watch out, Biff. You never know what might happen. Nobody can start this car but me. Now the next vehicle should need no introduction, and I'm not even going to start it here, but have a guess. Which one is travelling in this direction towards the cinema? And as the sun comes up, here is Hill Valley, complete. We've got all the buildings, we've got the clock tower, the courtroom, we've got the Central Park here, and of course all the buildings that go around, as well as a whole bunch of vehicles. But of course the vehicle we all know and love is this one right here, the DeLorean. DMC. So yeah, it's quite hard to do a DeLorean in this kind of scale, but I tried to do it as best I can. Not too bad, not too bad. And of course behind we have the fire trails, because it's just hit 88 miles per hour and it's got struck by lightning through the cable there. And of course the classic number plate, out of time. And there's the back, so you can see it kind of looks like those black parts that come out the vents, I think they are, made out of hoppers and anvils. So yeah, not too bad. And he's on his way. Marty, if he's in there, he's on his way back to the future. And that is about it for another episode. We have completed our spawn area, the spawn area of Hill Valley underneath the Iron Man. But this has turned out really well. We've got all the buildings in place, we've got vehicles, we've got the clock tower, and we've even got a DeLorean going back to the future. So if you enjoyed it, ow! If you enjoyed it, then please hit the like button. And if you're new, then feel free to subscribe. And if you've got any comments or suggestions or any kind of feedback, then get it in that comment section. Alright my geeks, until next time, I will see you later.